Welcome back, gang. This episode is a hybrid, music-filled mostly, and some conversation up top with the one and only Latane Hughes, followed by, starting around minute 16 and a half, a mix of songs assembled by Latane with a bit of help from yours truly. Latane is a music lover. We've been friends for about 13 years now. Met Latane my freshman year of college, and along the way he's been a dear friend, a consistent source of energy and inspiration, and also a source of music knowledge and influence. Many of the best music-oriented experiences that I've known have been thanks to this guy here. By trade, Latane is a booking agent. He manages the touring careers for a roster of 30-plus musical acts, representing artists from all over the globe and specializing in booking shows for them in the North American territory. By night, by morning, by all other times of the day, it seems, Latane is scouring the digital and physical planets for music that he shares in mixes like these and as a DJ as part of the Fundido duo along with Will Richardson. Thanks for tuning back in to the Jalapeno. This is Ty, your host, and here goes with Latane Hughes, and the music starts around minute 16 and a half. Latane Hughes, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Ty. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here virtually.
Yeah, so this episode is going to be the Purple Finch mix you put together for Good Room. The Solitude series.
We put it together.
Yeah.
The Purple Finch mix we put together.
we put together. Yeah. You reached out in my sweet spot, basically. I need Sunday morning music. And I threw a bunch of songs at you.
Dude, you nailed it. I'm still kind of sifting through all the gold you sent me over. So only a small fraction of the goodness made it into that mix.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to do another one, but that was fun.
Super fun.
So for listeners, Latane is a music industry experienced fellow at this point, and I thought before we let you listen to the mix, get your take kind of on teach us about music industry sort of and where it stands, how it's changed, and your role, right. And then we can
go from there.
Move into the music.
Oof, yeah, it's quite the weird moment for music industry. I got into the live music side out of college. I was seeing everything that was happening around the time, which was sort of the change from sort of when the internet came along. People were moving more from buying CDs to, listening online and streaming. And you and I both sort of lived through the whole Napster thing, which was a big change. But the one thing that's always been consistent for me since I was playing in bands in high school and everything is live music. So for me, I was like, all the change with labels and how that whole that whole sort of product world is constantly changing. The live music world is very much the same, and if anything, was rising up, because during that time, or at least when you and I were in college, which is like 2000, I was 2004 to 2008. So you were like right around there. That was like when US festivals were really starting to kind of take back off. Like Bonnaroo had sort of started to launch. Coachella was in its like 4th or 5th year. And a lot of kids, rather than like listening to the radio, were just looking at festival lineups to kind of know what music they should go check out. So like live music has sort of always been the consistent thing, and for me a really exciting thing, because it sort of like has the sort of magic dust that I feel like is really difficult to find anywhere else. I got out of college, got a job working as an assistant for Paradigm Agency in Monterey, California. I moved up there. I did a year there, working with some great agents there. I moved back down to Los Angeles, worked at CAA for a little while, started booking my own stuff on the side while I was DJing, and wound up being a agent for electronic musicians, because I was DJing, I was involved in that world. So I wound up booking a lot of electronic artists, and for the last, for the last 10 years, I've been a booking agent, more in the electronic space. It's been a consistent landscape to be working in, and I've never really had any knock on wood, never really had any concerns about the safety of my industry. But all of that changed about 2 months ago. And I don't know that, that anyone in the industry could have really predicted how COVID-19 sort of has completely flipped the music industry on its head, especially in terms of the live industry. I mean, I pretty much, I book somewhere between, 30 to 40 artists, and had booked up, I would say about 80% of 2020 was fully booked out for all of my artists. And within a 9-day period, literally all of that work just went, out the window. We had to lay off about half of the employees on March 20th. I remember that when that night that we played at Good Room, on the Friday night that we had Earth Beath at Good Room, it was a little slower than it usually was. And I had asked, I leaned over to Andrew and Greg and said, do you think it's slower because of coronavirus? And both of them were like, maybe, or maybe it's because there's this other DJ down the street or whatever. And then Andrew and I played the next night at Pony Boy as well. And it was pretty poppin' there, but felt slightly slower than usual. And those are the last 2 DJ gigs that I've done. And the 2 last times I've been inside like a club or like a live music environment. And at first, I think we all thought maybe things will be back in June or July. And festivals like Coachella and Governor's Ball and Bonnaroo, and, they all started to kind of fall like dominoes one by one. And we're like, all right, this is a lot more serious in terms of my own emotional and financial security have been challenged. I think it was March 25th. I rented a car in New York, packed it up with sort of all my essentials, which included my DJ decks and my guitar and stuff. Threw it in the car and drove down to Houston, Texas, which is where my family lives and where I grew up. And I've been here ever since. One interesting factor that I've seen is I feel like self-isolation with everyone, I think it will be beneficial for non-pop music. I think it'll be beneficial for, for lack of a better term, for underground music and for more like niche music. Because I think that when you're separating everyone and you have everyone sort of not all together, that sort of the like herd mentality that helps pop music thrive will not be as present. And people kind of pursue their own personal tastes a little bit more, which may lead them to sort of more niche-based music. They're going to actually find something that means something to them personally, because that's who they're spending time with right now, is themselves, not their friends. So I think it will help level that playing field in terms of like some other artists, maybe getting more interest and more streams and more focus than they might usually get. I read an interesting article the other day where it had said that in general pop music streaming is down, that comfort music streaming is up. And they went on to sort of describe what comfort music is, and some of it was, some more like pop country, sort of like throwback nostalgia music. But one stat that I found was pretty interesting is the streaming for Bob Marley's catalog has gone up by like 23% or something like that. Which may just mean that people are smoking a lot more weed at home, which is very possible. But I like to think of it in that, that it's more like people are just kind of finding what makes them feel good on a personal level and a little bit more comforting overall. I know I'm kind of just rambling on, so maybe I can use the Bob Marley reference as a reggae segue. That almost kind of rhymes. Reggae segue into the mix that you and I put together. Yeah, I mean the club Good Room that we mentioned earlier, Earth Beath, is our residents there. Earth Beath is myself, Greg D, Extra Water Andrew, Will from Fundido, and yourself, Ty. And we have the residency there. And when, Corona caused all these clubs to shut down, Good Room started doing this thing called the Good Room Solitude series, where all their residents now they've extended it beyond the residents, sort of like the friends and family of Good Room, have been making mixtapes for what they're calling the Solitude series. And I had been, unbeknownst to you, had been talking to Greg, saying for a while that I wanted to try to figure out how to have you contribute musically to things. And when this sort of Good Room Solitude series idea came up, I was like, I felt like this was the perfect time to sort of engage that idea, because I've always thought that you've had very good taste in music. I feel like your strength probably lies more in comfort music than it would be in club music. So that felt like an appropriate time to beckon you to send me a bunch of music. You put together like a little folder. Why don't you talk about that? Like, what made you choose some of the records, or like what led you there?
Yeah. First one, I reference the premise of the comfort music being up and artists having more time to, kind of the slowness that coronavirus has forced upon us is to, spend more time but alone or with, a few people that you live with, and maybe a slower lifestyle in general, and what kind of emotions and sentiments and observations does that render for the artist? Well, for all of us, and especially in retrospect, from an anthropological perspective, when they look back on this time and look at what was created, and in probably the amount of things that were created, or what humans did in general during this time, I think will say a lot about us. So yeah, I'd already had folders in my own songs I kind of pick up along the way, and a lot of those I've learned in New York and from people like Benny at the record shop, and my friend Ricky, and Chris Gentile at Pilgrim showed me a lot of Brazilian music. Yeah, for me it's kind of just, what songs do you hear that make you feel something that you sort of think of as a soundtrack to your life? Yeah, helps you think about your life from a different perspective, or from a sort of a new insight on your own experience. And I keep those songs filed away. And so a lot of the ones I threw your way were those. You sent me some great stuff, and I, went through and just grabbed pretty much everything. And I chose my favorite ones, and I had my guitar with me. And and what I like to do with mixes like these, which are more sort of like, they're more like harmonic mixes than they are like rhythmic mixes. I like to like understand what key all the songs are in. And basically the way that I sort of approached it is I found a lot of the ones that I kind of grouped together in like little like clusters. Like I remember Tizada song, like Mulatu as Take Tizada, that, and like the Alice Coltrane Govinda Jai Jai. I remember that I found early on that those two like were perfect together. So I had those in a little cluster. And I did that with a variety of the other like little ones you sent me. And then after that, I was like, okay, so now I kind of want to like understand how to stitch these together, but I also want to be able to sort of like tell a bit of a story, or sort of have a like journey. I know this sounds like hippie shit. No, I love it. This is my kind of thing. Once you say the word journey, I'm in. Yeah, right, exactly. Everyone takes an extra rip on their bong real quick. I used to do, this is a little bit of sidetrack, but hopefully I don't eat up too much time here. I love West Texas. I have this like ongoing love affair with West Texas. I love driving out there. I love Big Bend National Park. I love the hill country. I love the sort of like Alpine Marfa area. And I would go there a lot. I've gone there a lot over the past 5 years. And I started this sort of mixtape series a while ago called My West Texas Mixes. And I haven't put them out or published them or whatever. I just have made them. They're from myself. I've sent them to some friends. But what those are is sort of like this, where like ambient ethereal music and old folk music, where those things like meet back on the other side, because they both sort of have that spooky feel to it. So I used a lot of stuff from those West Texas folders. I never like to repeat the same song, so I didn't use any of the songs from those mixes, but some of the same artists. And I used those to stitch together songs. And you say that you had two songs that were both in A minor, and then you have like an ambient song that you could just
get the drone of the C from that, then you could use that to connect to maybe the next song is like a G major song, and so that C would work in that scale. So I'd use it like that, and a little bit of like the Camelot mixing wheel, which is like a DJ thing as well, and you can kind of reference that. My girlfriend at the time of the last West Texas trip made the perfect description of it. Lauren Caldwell said, it kind of feels like it's like different planets, and that like the sort of ambient songs that are connecting the different songs are like, you're like kind of taking like a spaceship to another planet and kind of like moving it from one to the next. And that had always kind of stuck with me. That was like a really great description that Lauren had said.
I hope to hear the West Texas mixes. I've driven through there a couple times. Went out to Marfa in Big Bend last year and blown away. So beautiful there. And
yeah, it's pretty great.
It's a fun place to drive around, and especially with good music. So listeners, enjoy the mix. Purple Finch mix made for Good Room, and Good Room, we wish you the best, and thanks for giving us the assignment. Latane, thanks for being on the show. We'll do a proper conversation someday with the Earth Beat boys.
And
more
to be continued.
To be continued. And wishing you the best, bud, and good chatting.
You too, and thanks for having me on the show. Enjoy the mix.
Purple Finch 1. Two. Three. Wood thrush 1. Two. Louisiana water thrush 1. Two. Three. Indigo bunting 1. Two.
taajabon dañuy taajabon ni taajabon dañuy taajabon Abdu Ujambar ñaari malaika la xawe ci kaw daanu si seru momu monila degam julinga momu monila degam wonga Hawe ci kaw daanu si seru momu monila degam julinga momu monila degam wonga taajabon dañuy taajabon taajabon dañuy taajabon wole 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 Abdu Jambar wole ñaari malaika la wole si kaw lay jóge wole daanu si serum wole Munila wale degam julinga wale Munila wale degam worga wale It's not easy. I want to hold you every day so that I can fall in your love arms. It's not easy. Darling, you've made me lose my mind. It's not easy. I want to lose my mind every day so that I can fall into your love arms. It's not easy. Let me down now. I wanna hold you every day. I never, never let you go. Every day, hey, hey, every day. You know I love you so much. It's not easy. Darling, you've made me lose my mind. It's not easy. I want to lose my mind every day so that I can fall into your firm arms. It's not easy. Let me now. I wanna hold you every day. Never let you go. Every day, hey, every day, Lord, it's not easy. I want to hold you tight.
Like a coin in your midst, I am dancing and spent with high treason. Through a glass eye, your throne is the one danger zone. Take me to the pilot for control. Take me to the pilot of your soul. Take me to the pilot. Lead me to the chamber. Take me to the pilot. I am but a stranger. Take me to the pilot. Lead me to the chamber. Take me to the pilot. I am but a stranger. Na na na. Na na na. Na na na. Na 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 na. Na na na. Na na na. inside. I was shivering inside. I didn't mean to hurt you, and I'm sorry I made you cry. I didn't want to hurt you, no I didn't. I'm just a jealous guy. I'm just a jealous guy. I'm just a jealous guy, yes I am. I'm just a jealous guy, yeah. I don't want no Friday looking at you, 'cause I'm a jealous fella. We call this the dawn.
your body, mind and soul breaking in two. Walk the floor each night, shed tears you can't conceal. Just try being lonely, then you'll know just how I feel. I saw you with your new love, and oh, it hurt me so. Funny how I see your face everywhere I go. You smiled and looked to be so happy as you passed by. So I hurried round the corner so you wouldn't see me cry. Suppose you wanted someone the way I want you. Just imagine your body, mind and soul breaking in two. Walk the floor each night, shed tears you can't conceal. Just try being lonely, then you'll know just how
for jokes, no time for play, no time for gay. I got no time for jokes, 'cause I'm well on my way, going back to my home. Got a long, long way to track, and I got a long way. Got a long, long way to track. There'll be no moon tonight, no moon tonight, yeah. And no stars to guide, no, no. But I got to be back before dark. No time for jokes, I got no time. No time for play, no time for gay. I got no time, no time for jokes, no, no. 'Cause I'm well on my way, going back to my home. Man, sure getting busy, man. You dig that sax? Yeah. No time for jokes, man. Life's sure getting tougher every day. And the going gets tough. The tough get going.
Piazzito Carreteiro, de bombacha remendar, vai cantando pela estrada a canção do boi barroso que a tradição lhe ensinou. Piazzito Carreteiro, busco amigo e companheiro que nunca teve infância, pois não pôde ser criança, porque a vida não deixou. E cantando lá cê vai, a boi da ponta. Nós já temos chegando, e cantando lá cê vai, boi do couro. Piazzito cantando, Piazzito Carreteiro, que ainda de madrugada vai recontando a alvorada lá profundo da invernada, por onde a noite se ausentou. Piazzito Carreteiro, menino gaúcho guapo, simbolizam os teus trapos a legenda dos farrapos que a história glorificou. E cantando lá cê vai, era boi da ponta. Nós já temos chegando, e cantando lá cê vai, era boi do poço.
Don't you cry, you know your mother been born to die. Since my soul got a seat up in a kingdom, that's alright, that's alright, that's alright, that's alright, it gonna be alright. Since my soul got a seat up in the kingdom, that's alright. Tell my neighbor, but that's alright, that's alright, that's alright, it gonna be alright. Since my soul got a seat up in the kingdom, that's alright. Jacob ladder so long and tall, you ain't got fit, you'll sure to fall. Since my soul got a seat up in the kingdom, that's, tell my mother, but that's alright, that's alright, it gonna be alright, it gonna be alright. Since my soul got a seat up in the kingdom, that's, hush my mother, how you walk in line, your feet might slip on your soul mellow. Since my soul got a seat up in the kingdom, that's alright, that's alright, that's alright, it gonna be alright, it gonna be alright. Since my soul got a seat up in the kingdom, that's alright.